Record. All right, so what are we doing? We're starting off from the very fundamentals. What exactly we're trying to solve. All right, so here is a task. Let me write the question out here, what this IPO chart is supposed to do. I'll explain to what the IPO chart is. All right, write a Pascal program to receive a number and display double the number. That is what is right below here, an IPO chart. An IPO means input, some texts and some process, say input and store, process and output. So this is the first aspect we're going to look at. Writing code from the very beginning, from the onset, the mental state you need to have, the thought process you need to have when you're going to solve a problem. So look at IPO charts, transition that into an actual Pascal program, the basic fundamentals of Pascal program, and reminding you guys about input statements and output statements, naming a program, but the real focus of it is on data types. That's the main focus of today. I think that is video number 4 or 5 in the Pascal channel, in the Pascal playlist on the YouTube channel. So this is an IPO chart. What's an IPO chart? An IPO chart, really, the I is for input, the P is for process, and the O is for output. What it really does, it helps you to break down mentally the 3 things you need to do to solve any programming problem.
All right, we can't
guys.
with him right now, class start. Me did want, that's why I telling us to put on the kettle, come and think that they go finish.
Miss Russell, I'm hearing everything you're saying.
Sorry, sir. Good evening, sir. Sorry.
Good evening, my dear. All right. So what happens is this, that the IPO chart really deals with the 3 things you need to focus on when you're solving any programming problem. I mean, I do it up to now. I'm always thinking like this. First of all, the question says, write a program to receive a number, then display double the number. So these 2 lines represent, maybe I should put another section here. Insert column to the right or to the left, but this column is going to be very, very short. All right, pull this one in as well, and this one a little bit. All right, so this is, all right, 1, 2. So there are 2 ways you can solve this problem. However, the first thing, if you're going to double a number, the first thing you need to do is get a number. So you have a problem that you want to solve. I need to double a number, any number. -1 million, +1 trillion. It doesn't matter what number. Could be even 0. All right. So I need to double a number. The first thing you need to do is to get a number. So the input part of your thought process is get a number. I decided to use num as a variable. So I'm going to get a number, any number, get a number, and I put it inside a variable called num. So you can get num or let whatever equal num. It doesn't matter. You're going to get a number. So the input part is saying get a number. You have to know now the process, the mental process, how to double a number. Step number 1, one way to do it is saying, okay, I want the answer is going to be equal to whatever number I got from over here, get a number, times 2. So we get, for example, 5. Pick up 5 from somewhere, a random number. Someone double it, we say 5 times 2, and then we display the answer over here, the output. Simple as that. So I know this is a simple rudimentary concept, but it's the same thing you're doing with any program you do. Any program, no matter how complex it is. I mean, if you're even using something like what we're using now, like Google Docs, it's always that process. What do you want the person, the user, to do, to get? What do you want them to use the program to do? Then after you think that through, then you think, okay, what do I need to put in? It's more like cooking. You know, I want to bake a cake. What kind of cake am I going to make? Fruit cake. So nobody need flour, sugar, some fruits, maybe some butter, eggs, and those things. So the input really deals with what the ingredients are, what you need to do to get the program working. What are the inputs that you need? The process is going to speak to how you're going to work with those inputs. So you're going to meld them and mold them and mix them and knead them or marinate them, depending on what you're doing. And for this, you only really have 4 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Those are the 4 operations we need right now. All right. So the process speaks about how will I organize these inputs to get the desired output. I tell people all the time, one bulla, one bun, cake, and so on. What else? Bread. I think for the most part, guys, me really can't bake. Must I guess, based on what my mother do back in the day, because she's a big baker. All right. All of them use basically the same ingredients, you know. They all use basically the same ingredients. What matters is how you mix those ingredients and the proportion that determines whether you get one bread, one cake, one bulla, one bun. Not true. For the ladies here who can bake, it's not true.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's usually it. So the input part of your program speaks to what you need to put into the program. I need to double a number. So the first thing is get a number. So put in a number. Then there are 2 ways I can double a number. Take your pick. 2 ways I know of. Maybe there's probably a 3rd way, but I don't know it. Maybe a 4th even. All right. So way number 1, the number times 2. Way number 2, the number plus itself, the number plus the same number. So 5 plus 5, still doubling the number. And I output the answer over here. So that is the way in which I can double a number. So that is the thought process you need to have. If I need to, let us say, for example, now insert row below. We're still getting used to Google Docs and we're still not comfortable with it yet. All right, although I'm using it quite a bit now. If I need to, let us say, for example, average 3 numbers. Let me forget 3 numbers, right? Get 3 numbers. Get, let's say, num1, num2, num3. We get 3 numbers. That's what I need to do. If I need to do the average now, I might say, okay, to do the average, let me make some more space for this thing. I don't like when it wraps down to another row. All right. I may say AVG now going to be equal to num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 3. But then I have to bracket all of this. So the process is saying that, guess what, sir? You have to get 3 numbers. After you get the 3 numbers, you're going to add them up first. That's why I put that in brackets. And then you divide whatever the answer is by 3. And then you're going to show the average. You're going to output AVG. So whatever thought process you have, guys, it's an IPO chart is always relevant. I'm telling you, after writing program, I used to write code a lot for businesses, payroll, cambios, and it was coming in for foreign exchange, in marks, in francs, in Cayman dollars, all kind of different currencies. You know, car mats. We used to have to write code for them, and for hospitals as well. But the thing is, I'm always thinking like an IPO chart. What is the person paying me to do? What is this program supposed to output to the user? Then I don't figure out, okay, fine, but if you calculate the net pay, how much the company if you pay them? All right, what do I need? I need their hourly rate, how much they work per hour, how much hours they work per week or per day. And then if you calculate the income tax, NHT deductions, all those different things in the right order, so we can show them net pay at the end of the day. So you're always thinking like an IPO chart. So if you want to learn how to write a program from scratch, think IPO. What am I doing? What do I need to solve? And then what are the inputs I need? What are the ingredients I need for the program? Then how am I going to process these inputs to get the desired output, right? So let's look at a program now that we're going to write from scratch using the IPO chart. Let me zoom this up a bit because my eyes not doing so well these days. Even this week, still, I'm dreading the thought of 6 months of school without any significant holiday for the next 6 months. But this has to be done, so let's do what we have to do. All right, so yeah, let me make my life easier. Same thing, I just want copy and paste. Write a program to, let me work with this one, average. Yeah, work with average. All right. I'm gonna put it inside the comment area up here. So I'm commenting. So this area up here between the curly brackets is really where I'm commenting multiple lines, meaning the computer will not execute this code. This code is from me to you. I can write the code jumped over the moon, this run away with the spoon. It's just for me to keep abreast of an idea of what I'm trying to do. So I am getting three numbers, and display the average of the three numbers, average of the numbers. Simple. That's what I'm doing. So this is what I'm trying to solve. All right. And this line here that says program is a reserved word. Wherever Pascal sees this word program, it's telling the computer that, guess what? Whatever comes afterward is the name of the program. So the name of this program is calculate underscore average. Average. And that's it. So I'm naming the program calculate average. All right. Now I'm going to go back to my IPO chart here a bit. Based on my IPO chart, I need num1, num2, num3, and num4 as variables. That's let me just submit IPO chart to that. All right. So let me go here and start putting now. var is a term I use to tell the computer to, guess what? Prepare some areas in your memory, right? The computer's memory, otherwise RAM. All right, we don't want to get too technical with this, but prepare some containers. I'm going to call one of them num1, comma, num2, comma, num3, comma, and I'm going to put those as integer. I want to have those as whole numbers. Whole number, whether negative or positive, doesn't matter. Just whole numbers. And then I'm going to put AVG, which is average. I'm going to put that as real. So real is going to be a decimal number. All right, that's what I mean by real. Another name for real is decimal number or floating point. We're going to get into this a little bit more. So this part here, all of this up above here from line 6 to line 10 is just like, what should I know? It's like you're having a class and you set up a register. Who's coming in the class? So the name of the class is the subject, calculate average, and the persons who are going to attend the class are num1, num2, num3 are average. So num1, num2, and num3, those are whole numbers. And average refers to numbers that are decimal numbers. Am I clear with everybody so far? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one person answer. And I suspect there are persons who have this habit of not answering and don't understand. And I really don't want to go to the juvenile childish approach of calling everybody name by name to see if you understand. I really don't want to do that. Guys, if you don't understand, let me know that you're having difficulty and I need to probably catch you back up from somewhere. Everybody good? Or are there persons who are having any challenges so far? Okay. So let me remove myself from this situation here. Right line, let me say, all right, let's put right line. The average, oops, average of the numbers is comma AVG. All right, so I'm putting some numbers now. Num1 colon equal to let's say 9, start off with a big number, really big number, but small enough we can check right away. Num2 colon equal to 5, or semicolon, I forget my semicolons. Sometimes, guys, forgive me here, sometimes when you have different programming languages in your head, like basic, C, Python, or so, something I kind of mix up your languages a little bit, but forgive me. I'll try to remember the semicolons. And then I have num3, therefore equals to, let us say 4, semicolon. So here is what this is saying. Num1 is going to be assigned a value of 9. So I'm going to put 9 into num1. That's what colon equals to equal mean. I can't put num1 equal. The rule of Pascal is when I'm putting anything into a variable, I must put colon equal. That's just the rule. Why do we write English and we end sentences with full stops? Why not? Well, we can with a semicolon, exclamation marks, question marks, question signs, but why not with a colon? Somebody somewhere, some long time ago decided that this is the rule of English language, just like the language of Pascal. Someone, the originator of the program, who created this, said, you know what? This is what happened. When I put a number into a variable, you must have num1 colon equal 9. So num1 therefore equals to 9. All right. And then, so let me put a comment up here. So we're not going to throw anybody off with. No, let me do this first. Let me not stretch anybody out so far. Skip a line. Put AVG therefore equals to, we're going to do a calculation now. So AVG therefore is going to be equal to num1 plus num2 plus num3. Right? And like I said, divide by 3. But semicolon as well. But I must put this in brackets because if I don't put it in brackets, it's going to give me an incorrect answer. Putting it in brackets, remember the order of operations, brackets first. If I don't put it in brackets, the computer is going to divide 4 by 3, which gives me about 1.3 something, 1.33, and then go and add that to 9 and 5. So with 9 and 5, 14 plus 1.3, it will give me about 15 point something. And I don't want that. I want to add all the numbers first, then to divide whatever it gets by 3. So the 9 plus 5, 14, and 4, 18. I will divide the 18 by 3. I will get an answer. Does that make sense to everybody so far?
Sir, repeat that, sir.
I'm saying this simple little rudimentary program is saying num1 is assigned a value of 9. So anyway, so num1 is going to be equal to 9. And let's say num2 is going to be equal to 5. Num3 is going to be equal to 4. Average as a container, as a variable, is now going to have this, whatever the answer turns out to be. Num1 plus num2 plus num3. So 9 plus 5 plus 4. So it's actually 9 plus 9. 5 and 4, 9 plus 9, 18. And then divide this by 3. So AVG is going to be equal to 3. All right? So I'm saying, do you understand what this little program is doing? By looking at it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So guys, I'm telling you, don't worry. Well, I shouldn't be saying that right now because I should have started practicing already from about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Everybody in this class should have tried to, even watching the video, go to this website and try to write 1 or 2 programs based upon what you see in being demonstrated in the video. It should not be. They're going to sit and watch like a movie or an animation and think you're going to retain this. It is not going to work. Guys, I'm telling you because I've done it before. I'm telling you because I've taught this now for over 22 years. I'm telling you also because I actually used to write code for a living. Everything I'm teaching you now, I used to do it for a living when I used to operate my own business. I'm telling you guys, the only way to learn this is by practice. All right. But let me run this anyhow and see what we get for the answer. So the answer we should get is 6. But if you notice, the 6 is, see the 6 with some scientific notation, known as a 6.0000, whatever. So what happens here is that this 6 is being represented as a decimal number. Fair enough? Make sense, everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right. And why is it important? Because when you are, press enter, exit that. When you're going to run your program now, let me show you one thing here. Let me remove the brackets here. Remember we said that would I get about 15 point something? Let's run this now and see what we get. This is basically 15 point something. 1.533333 scientific notation. That's basically what it's saying. Because the computer divided the 4 by 3 because num3 is 4, so num3 is here. So it work out this part first. It work out this section first because division would occur before addition in the order of calculation. Remember that? BEMDAS, brackets, then exponents, then multiplication, then division, then addition, then subtraction. So you have to be aware of this. That is why I put this in brackets. So the computer knows that, guess what? Add up these numbers first before you start to divide. Add num1, num2, and num3 first. So you run the program, you end up get 6. That's basically what it's saying. So let me give you a hint now. Up here, so I put a single line coming. This / ignore it. The computer is going to ignore it as well. This section is the input part of the IPO chart. So all of this up here is the input. Going back to the IPO chart, we said get num1, num2, num3. So this part up here was the input. Then this part down here now, I'm putting these comments in just to help you out a bit. / this section is for the process part of the IPO chart. That's what that part is for. So all of this here so that we just did, the IPO chart, the process part, this is what it is. AVG equal whatever it is. That's what we did, the process here. So right here, that's what we did. All right. And the AVG part will say output. Mr. Preston, I see you raise your hand coming to you. So the process, the output part is what we do here. So we say right line, the average of the numbers is average. So we output the answer for average. All right, so this line here coming to you. Don't forget your question. I'm not going to take too long. This is the last thing I want to say. So / this section is now the output part of the IPO chart. All right, so that is how that works. Yes, Miss Preston, raise your hand. Your hand was up. What's up?
Yes, sir. Sir, what's the / for?
These two /?
Yes, sir.
They are to be ignored. Yeah, I don't want to mess you up too much, but all right. On a serious note though, the two / you mean this one is where I want to make a single line comment. So up here, I use curly bracket up here and here because my comment is going to include multiple lines. A comment really is, as a programmer, when you're writing a program and you have a lot of lines of code, geez, we have 10 minutes left. Wow. You have a lot of lines of code. What happens is that you might need to make comments to remind you what you're doing in each section. So the comments really are just for you, like you look at personal notes, but the computer doesn't try to execute it. It's just for you to keep, because sometimes you're writing a program where it's extremely long. Let me see if I have. A student asked me to do one for someone SBA some time ago. Log in, not log in yet. Really? Control A, Control C. Let me log in. Leave Google Plus and here. I'm going to show you a code that a student asked me to do one that was very lengthy. It was kind of cruel for a teacher to give that to a student. My projects, Russell crime stats for SBA. Let me see. Is this it? No, it was longer. It was longer than this. This was the first draft of what I did to help him. With a very good friend of mine. His mom is a very good friend of mine. I don't make it a habit of helping children in SBA, but it's much longer than this. This is just one section. My projects. Let me see. Where is it? Russell. It was still longer. It's over 100 lines of code. It went up to 120 something lines of code. So I had to make the comments to keep myself from remembering what I was doing in each section. But just for an example, but usually writing codes, because I have to write up to 800 lines of code, over 1,000 sometimes, you need to keep yourself aware of what you're doing, because then you get lost in your own code, and the comments help with that. So that is what this area is for. Let me do a new project. Projects was one of the new. Go back here. Where am I again? Just no matter. Just paste it in. Put back my code here. All right. So this is what we're trying to do, guys. Think of the IPO chart. This part here is the input. Here. Oh, geez. Don't mess with me, please. Let me use the shift key. This part here is the input part of the IPO chart. One line here is a process. And then this part is the output. So whenever you're thinking of writing your program, where you're going to start? Start at the input. Get the data either from the user or hard code it in. And by hard coding, I mean, you decide what num1, num2, and num3 is going to be equal to. All right, and then the calculation is done down here. Am I making sense to everybody or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
you choose any number you want, right?
Yeah, we choose any number we want. Choose any random number we want. Choose any random number we want. Can choose. But let me show you something else. Can I push the envelope a little bit? I don't want to push it because I get cut off soon. Let me just continue going through the motions with this, and then we'll rejoin. We give you another link and we'll rejoin later on. Because I think my time is running out. We're going to have less than a few minutes, less than about a minute or two left. So this is what we're doing. So remember, when you're going to write your program, the program should have a name. So program and then the name of the program. You must have var here, short for variables, where you put in the variables you're going to use. The variables are simply containers. A container to hold data. That's all it is. Do not worry about a specialized allocated area of memory to hold data based upon a data type. Forget that scientific nonsense. It's simply a container to hold data. And AVG likewise. Num1, num2, and num3 is going to have whole numbers. That's what integers are. Integer, whole number. Real refers to decimal numbers, what we call floating point numbers. All right, that's what it is. So num1, num2, and num3, those are whole numbers. And after we're through, and putting in 9 into num1, 5 into num2, 4 into num3, then now we start to do the calculation where we assign AVG a calculation. AVG equal num1 plus num2 plus num3 in brackets divided by 3. And I will put the answer on the screen, right line. The average of the numbers is, an average displays as 6 because 6 is what is contained inside the variable average. That's really what it does. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing for a while and stop this recording and send another link to rejoin so we can wrap this up and then move into data types. All right. Because I think I'm gonna be out of time soon. All right. So I stop this now and I'll send another link shortly. All right. End.